Welcome to a forum on a proposal to amend the Greenville City Council terms. I'm Dave Hollick. I'm Greenville City Attorney. And first off, I want to thank Chair Brenda Diggs and the Neighborhood Advisory Board for hosting this forum. It's greatly appreciated that you've done that. And I also want to thank all those citizens who have taken the opportunity to attend this forum. What this forum is designed to do is to present the proposal, just give an outline of the proposal, and relate some advantages and disadvantages of it, and then offer the opportunity for you all to provide comments in a public forum, and we will provide that opportunity at the end of the presentation. The proposal that's under consideration is to amend the city charter, and it'll be proposed to be amended in the following way. The length of the terms of the Greenville City Council members would be changed from 2-year terms to 4-year terms. The terms will be staggered, so one half of the council is elected every 2 years, and the mayor's term either remains at 2 years or is changed from 2 years to 4 years. City Council is the policymakers for the city. They hold the ultimate authority to act for the city. They decide what services the city will provide and at what level. Establish the city's fiscal policy by adopting the annual budget ordinance and levying taxes, and adopts the city's ordinances. Again, City Council is like the board of directors for the corporations. They establish the policies for the city. The city charter is the organizational document which governs the city and its abilities to provide services, in addition to as supplemented by state statutes. What the city council, the provisions of the city council, the city charter, as it relates to the organization of city council, is it's composed of a mayor and 6 council members. 5 council members are elected by district, with 1 at large. They're elected by the nonpartisan plurality election method. What this means is they run for election without a political affiliation, and they are elected if the person gets at least 1 more vote than the closest challenger. In other words, a majority vote is not required. Municipal elections are held every 2 years in odd-numbered years, and the terms of office are 2 years. So every 2 years, the mayor and the entire city council is elected. Again, this is the proposal that's under consideration, is to amend that charter so that the length of terms is changed from 2 years to 4 years. Again, provide a staggering of the terms, so 1/2 of council is elected every 2 years, and with the mayor's term remaining either at 2 years or being changed from 2 years to 4 years. The method to amend this, and this has been chosen by City Council, is to utilize a ordinance approved by City Council, subject to approval by a vote of the people. Actually, when this was brought to City Council, there's other options that they could have utilized with this. One is to have the General Assembly adopt a local act. That would have accomplished this. The other is to do it by ordinance without a referendum. But when City Council said that they want to consider this, they said that we want to ensure that the people have the opportunity to decide. So they wanted to, and have put in place, that if they proceed with this, it's going to be subject to a vote of the people at a special election with a later referendum. The process that council follows in order to amend this is, what they're doing is they are At this stage, they are just soliciting public input to decide if there is an interest in proceeding with making the change. So they have not yet decided that they want to proceed with the change, but they want to hear from the public and see if there is an interest in that, and from there they'll decide whether or not to proceed. Once they go forward with it, there is a statutory process which has a formal public hearing where there will be further opportunity for public input. Then they would make a determination whether or not to implement it by action with a referendum, by an ordinance, and then subject to approval by a vote of the people. Council has decided if they are going to proceed with it, they would have the election date on May 3rd, 2016, which is an available election date because all the polls are open in the county, and it would be the primary election. In the proposal, the one thing council wanted to ensure was that the current council, as it's seated, would not be impacted by this change. It's a change that would be implemented after the 2015 election. So the upcoming election, where the current council is up for re-election, will occur under the existing system. So they would be elected for the 2-year terms. Then, if the change is approved, it would be implemented in a phased approach. In 2017, one half of the council would be elected to a 4-year term, and then one half would be elected to a 2-year term. And then the 2019 election, those that were elected for the 2-year term would be elected for a 4-year term. That's how you implement the staggering portion. To describe this further, because we had a question before and I've tried to describe it verbally, this is how that would work. In the 2017 election, 4-year terms, council members that are in districts 1, 3, and 5 would be elected for 4-year terms. 2-year terms, council members that represent districts 2, 4, and at large would be elected to 2-year terms. This was the proposal that was given to council at its annual planning session, and it's basically the 4-year terms are those that represent the odd number districts. That's the method that was utilized for it. The 2-year terms are the even number district and the at large. Some cities, when they do this, they actually do it by a draw or a lot, by chance, just to determine which ones are elected. But this was what was proposed, and council generally accepted that. For the 2019 election, then what would happen is those again that were elected to the 2-year terms in 2017 would be up for 4-year terms, and it would be the council members for 2, 4, and at large. And then when you go to the 2021 election, you repeat what occurred in the 2017 election as far as council members 1, 3, and 5 would be the 4-year terms, and again the mayor in either of those would be a 2 or 4-year term. The one thing that this having it set up like this does, and which I think is important, is that every citizen voter in the city would vote at every municipal election. Even though your district representative didn't happen to be up for election at that time, there would be somebody for you to vote on. In the 2019 election, it would be the at-large person, and in the 2021 election, it would be the mayor. So there's always somebody that there's a reason for the citizens to go to the polls every municipal election. Plus, you would have, when the time comes up for the 4-year term, you would be casting a vote for your representatives for your district. The 2-year terms, advantages and disadvantages is it allows the citizens to vote on their representatives every 2 years. It means, though, that there is a short period of time between elections to implement programs and initiatives. Again, there's just a 2-year period. The actual filing period for city council elections in the November for a November municipal election is in July. So in reality, there's even a shorter period of time when the council members are not in the election campaigning mode, in the official election campaigning mode. Additionally, having all members elected at the same time means there is the possibility of a clean sweep election, which poses an issue for ongoing initiatives. The 4-year staggered terms, advantages and disadvantages. It promotes continuity and stability. You always have some members with experience on the city council. It does provide more time between elections to implement the programs and initiatives. And the mirror image as far as the 2-year advantage is the disadvantage is it lengthens the period of time before the citizens are able to vote to reelect or to replace their representative. So it's 4 years where you would have the opportunity to cast your vote for your representative. In looking at how other North Carolina cities have their terms of their governing board, this is the information that provides that. As far as the terms of the governing board, you can see the 2 years of the North Carolina cities is 164, which is approximately 30%, and the 4 years staggered is 63%. 4 years by itself is 6%. So the 4 years together is 69% of all North Carolina cities versus the 30%. Mayor's terms, you can see it's 302 and 235 as far as the North Carolina cities. So that's a majority are for the 2-year terms, which is 50%, 6% is what that comes to. As to the top 20 North Carolina cities in how they are broken up, this is how that occurs. And Greenville compares itself to the top 20 North Carolina cities because we are one of them. For 2-year terms, there are 8 of the top 20 North Carolina cities have the 2-year terms, and those are listed there. You can see that it's some of the larger cities: the Charlotte, Raleigh, Greensboro, Fayetteville, High Point, Greenville, Wilson, and Huntersville. As far as the 4-year staggered terms, those that have that are the Cary, Asheville, Jacksonville, Rocky Mount, and Kannapolis. 4-year not staggered, Winston-Salem and Concord. And 4-year staggered, all council members with the mayor: Durham, Wilmington, Burlington, Gastonia, and Chapel Hill. So as far as the top 20 cities, those that have the 2-year terms for council members, it's the 8. Again, those that are listed there. As far as those that have 4-year terms, that totals 12. Again, what council wants to do with these is to have the public forums, to have the information presented, and then allow citizens the opportunity to provide input. We do have one additional public forum scheduled after tonight, and that is on Thursday, April 2nd at 6 p.m. in the chapel at the Lucille W. Gorham Intergenerational Center. There also is the opportunity for citizens, if they want to provide comments, you can do it by email. And I would request that you send that to my email address, and that is dholec@greenvillenc.gov. Again, that's dholec@greenvillenc.gov. And so you can provide input by doing something, by sending in something by email. But again, we are going to provide the opportunity now for the public to comment. And this is being telecast live and also being recorded. All comments, we will ensure that council is aware of all comments that are made so that they can consider that. What I'd ask you to do, let's try to keep it as concise as possible, but get your points across. I ask that it be, limit the comments to 3 minutes, and if you would just come up, state your name, and then provide your comments. If there's anybody who'd like to provide comments, I invite you to do so. And you can just step up, and do it.
Right here.
Yes, please.
I don't support the change. I support.
Name, if you start with your name.
Oh,
please.
sorry.
Thank you.
I've been here in a while. My name is Andrew Gorman. I live at 4A Mary Lane.
Mhm.
I don't support the proposed changes. I do support keeping it at 2 years. And it seems to, I don't know, be much better to make it, all seats available to be reelected at the same time. It just seems to kind of complicate. If you want to change the direction that the city's going, it seems to just kind of make it complicated. So there are my two thoughts there.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else, please?
My name is Nancy Colville, and I live in District 5. And I wish to speak in opposition to the proposed extended terms of office for the city council and mayor. I do not agree. The city's charter would have to be amended. It's been years since the city charter has been amended. The last time was when Greenville utility monies that come to the city was increased. That was the last time. The charter, the document reflects the city's commitment, in my opinion, to serve the residents in a responsible manner. It serves like a beacon to me of a strength for future investors and residents. It is like we are here, and we're not going to change tomorrow because somebody else wants something changed. It should not be amended at the will of just a handful of individuals for political or personal reasons. Twice before this idea has come up, because I've been around a long time and I remember. So do you. And both times it was not, the public opposed it. To me, state legislators and congressmen run for re-election every 2 years. And somehow they managed a complex budget, a lot more complicated than ours. Not that ours is not important, but a lot more to it. And they're not contemplating changing that I know of. And some of you might also remember Ms. Morris, who was elected in November of 2099 until 2001. And that was, to me, the worst of the worst concerning the council's behaviors and actions. It caused the city chief to resign. A good city manager left. It was expensive to the city. It was stressful, and productivity of the employees went down. And I want you all to know that this is the kind of thing that can happen again and again, because there's no guarantee who's going to be sitting there or whether they're going to be compatible or not. So for me, 4 years is a long time to put up with a council that doesn't get along or has ideas that don't represent our ideas. And so I will have to stay with the 2 years, because the only people that I see benefiting from these 4 years is elected officials. That's it. what you're doing is shortchanging our power to participate in the process. And so, you know, it's just not, if it's not broken, why are we fixing it? I sure don't remember any of these people that are now in office telling us that they were going to change that. So here's one thing that I propose. If you're going to do 4-year terms, how about putting term limits to it? I would like that. Term limits along with 4 years, that's good. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to comment? One.
Chris Mansfield, 408 South Harding Street. And I really would like to ask some questions. Most importantly, why is this a problem? For whom? When did it become a problem? Whose idea was it? And I'm really kind of dismayed that there's only one council person here to hear what we would have to say. The whole idea of a representative democracy is having representatives responsive to a constituency. And I would ask how this change would promote or perfect our democracy here in Greenville. And what's so important about continuity and stability? Other side of the coin, continuity and stability is lack of responsiveness, lack of dynamism, inability to be nimble and correct things, inability to be responsive to changes that might occur. And I guess I would endorse the idea of 2-year terms with elections consistent with the state House and Senate and U.S. House of Representatives elections, so that there would be people going to the polls for more than one thing. And I would endorse Ms. Koval's idea of term limits, even if we only stay with 2. Those are my thoughts, and I really would like to understand a little bit more why this has become a problem.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Adele Greer, 1704 South Elm Street. I think we should stick with the 2-term limits. It promotes continuity. It's simple. We have enough complications. We have a low enough voter turnout as it is. I feel like 4-year and 2-year staggered terms, that's going to make it more complicated for the average voter. They've got enough to remember. If they show up and vote, they're doing good. We need to increase the voter participation in this community, not limit it to like 10% or less. And I really don't understand why this is being brought up now. I mean, are we trying to copy the bigger cities because we're smaller? Are we trying to keep up with the Jones cities? I mean, is that what it's all about? We're a unique city. We should do things in an individualistic way. We need to stick with our 2 terms. And I just don't think term limits, whether it's 4 years or 2 years, politicians aren't on great. They'll say yes, and then they'll turn around and just keep doing it. Thank you.
Thank you much. Anybody else?
Uriah Ward, District 3. Personally, I feel the same way pretty much everyone else here is expressed. I tend to agree with 2-year terms because at the city council level, there's a pretty immediate and visible impact from what the elected officials are doing, and I think it's more effective to have the 2-year elections. But one question I had that no one's really addressed yet is about if this goes forward, why was the primary election picked? I'm not sure if that's something that you can address or whether this is a back and forth or whether we're just talking. It seems to me like it would make more sense if it were to be held on either the municipal election date, whenever you have the people who are most interested in municipal elections voting, or on the general election date of 2016, whenever you have a higher voter participation. The primary in 2016 just seems a little bit odd to me. That's all. Thank you.
He did give his name. That's Mr. Ward, Uriah Ward, yes. He did. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
My name is David Douglas, Liaison District 2. I couldn't decide if for 2 terms or 4 term, which one is best. What I would like to have to make a decision is the elected official say, whether to me or to anybody, I would like to hear from them which way would they like to go, if they would prefer 2 years or 4 years, and why. My next question is, if they were elected for 2 years or 4 years, what if it don't work? Would there be a reverse? Could there be a reverse, or would there be a reverse? If the 4 years becomes the best thing, that everybody liked it, would those for 2 years be eligible to go up for 4 years at any time?
Okay. Anybody else? Let me just respond to some of the, give information, I guess, as far as some of the comments that were made. First, term limits is discussed. That is not something the City Council has the authority to implement. The statute which designates what they have the authority to change in their charter, that's not one of the things that they have the ability to do. And in fact, the state legislature does not have the authority to impose term limits either for themselves or for city council members. In order for that to occur, that would require an amendment to the North Carolina Constitution to establish term limits. So that addresses the term limit issue. But again, what we're talking about is lengthening the council terms. As far as the date of election, that's established by the state legislature. And what they've decided is that municipal elections will be in odd-numbered years, while the county and statewide and national elections would be in even-numbered years. There are proposals under consideration now to potentially change that. And so that's something that is subject to change. What you have is the way it's the mechanism now when the election, municipal election comes in, that's the focus. So there's a fear that if you tie that in with other elections, that may get lost in the shuffle. There'll be concentration on the national and statewide more than the municipal. The flip side to that is you definitely have more of a voter participation in the county and the statewide elections and the national elections than the municipal elections. So that's the trade-off that's currently being considered. And that goes towards the question as to why having the primary election date versus the municipal election in November. There's really, I think, 2 reasons council decided that. One was so that the upcoming potential bond referendum, which is being discussed now, which is proposed to be held in November, that's something that could be concentrated on. And the other is, and so you not have 2 issues in addition to all the elections coming up during the November timeframe. And the other is that, again, that the voter participation is greater in the non-municipal election years, and so they were going to give the opportunity for the citizens to vote with that. As far as the ability to change this, once it's implemented, the state statute says that if there is a change implemented for for the terms, then that has to remain in place for at least 2 years after the first time that those persons are elected. So it could not be changed very quickly, but it could be come up for another change in another 2-year period. So I think that addresses, I think all the issues some issues that were brought up. Is there another comment? Did you want to come, if you would, you need to come forward so we can record that.
My name is Carolyn Glass, and I'm a liaison for District 1. And I think part of somebody's question was, why now? And is the whole city council agreeable with wanting this change? And then somebody said, if it's not broken, why fix it, or why now? I mean, we've lost a whole lot of top officials in Greenville, and that has put a damper on Greenville, that I think. And we've got a whole lot going on, and change right now, I think would be bad. That's just my opinion, and that was kind of piggybacking on some of the other people, what the other people have said.
Yeah, thank you. And I guess just as to highlight the fact that City Council has not made a determination that they are going to proceed with this, and that's what one of the what they're doing here is to find out what the temperature is of the electorate to see if there is a interest in it. This is something that has been discussed or has been on the table for several times in past years, where council has said, let's find out what our options are, what the mechanism is. Council has never decided to go this extra step to say, okay, let's go ahead and consider it. So we're a little bit further along than we have been in past years. But it's as far as the reasons, again, that goes to the advantages and disadvantages of both proposals, the 2 years and the 4 years. That's what's being considered. But what council wants to do is to listen to the input from the citizens, and then they'll make a determination as to whether or not to proceed, with the end game being that if, in order for it to be effective, it is going to have to take a vote of the citizens in a referendum to approve that, so that they do have that. That's one of the things, that measures that they specifically stated. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to come to this forum and taking the time to come up and speak. Again, for anybody who wants to give any comments, they can do it by email. I'm going to give my email address one more time, dholec@greenvillenc.gov. Also, I have forms. If anybody wants to provide a written comment, you can do that, and also submit that to us. But again, one more thing.
I just decided I want to ask a question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
My name is Ann Maxwell, and I want to piggyback on what David Douglas said. He really is concerned about the feelings of the council members, and when you run for office, what do you see what are the advantages to 2- and 4-year terms? And then as I was sitting there, I thought, what has happened in other cities? Do they feel that there have been positives from extending the terms? Is there any way we could get that feedback?
Well, I can say which ones have changed. Those that I've spoken with that have changed, they think that what they've changed to is appropriate for them. But again, you have the list. It's 8 of those that have the 2-year terms, and then 12 have the 4-year terms, and some of them have been in place for a while. So I'm not certain, as again, I think the response that you'll get from most of them is that we're happy with what we have. If we want to change it, we have a mechanism in place for that. So, again, one more public forum that's available, and that is Thursday, April 2nd, 2015 at 6 p.m. at the chapel at the Lucille W. Gorham Intergenerational Center. You can provide email input, and again, I have forms if anybody wants to provide a written comment to City Council. And again, I appreciate you all attending. Thank you so much.